Every year, TVC collectors put together a March Madness-style bracket, and there's a huge community effort to vote for their favorite figures and narrow it down to one final winner. This, in 2021, was Bo-Katan Kryze, who of course ended up coming out in TVC. And the Hasbro Star Wars team has referenced that they actually do look at the fan vote, especially the March Madness TVC vote, and that has an effect on the characters that they choose to make. And although a lot of people post their wish lists on the Black Series subreddit, there was no real way to kind of aggregate all of this data and see which are the most wanted characters, so I wanted to create something similar for the Black Series. And I felt that Reddit was the best way to do that because of their upvote downvote system. It's kind of just like a built-in voting mechanism. And you can actually go on and sort by most liked of all time, and then you can get a really clear idea of what the community wants most. And because several of the members of the Hasbro team follow me on Instagram, I figured that once this is up for a little while and we get a lot of votes, we can send this directly to them and let them know exactly what the community is interested in. And you'll notice that a lot of these most popular ones were uploaded by me right when I started the subreddit just to kick things off. So obviously the longer that a character is up on the subreddit, the more likely it is to have more votes, but I think most of the major characters got knocked out since we delete reposts, so I think for the most part it's pretty fair. So if number 1 is Savage Opress, I think this makes total sense. The Clone Wars is so popular, and this is one of the biggest gaps in that line. It's honestly pretty crazy that we don't have Savage in the line yet. We've gotten like 6, 7 different Darth Mauls, or like different Dathomirians on the Darth Maul body, like all of the Night Brothers. And so this one just makes total sense. The next one actually surprised me a little bit how popular it was, and that is Chancellor Palpatine from Revenge of the Sith. And I think while I'm talking about Palpatine, I should talk about the number 3 pick, which surprised me because it is a retool, and it is a retool of Revenge of the Sith Anakin, because not only is this figure really dated, it's just also really expensive and hard to find. And the Black Series has always kind of tried to position itself as being a definitive collection, where even a figure that came out 10 years ago is still the definitive version, but action figure technology has changed so dramatically in the past 10 years with face printing and all of the updated articulation. It just makes total sense to re-release your number 1 most popular character, which is Anakin Skywalker, you know, like the character that the first 6 movies are about. And it would just be so nice to have a Chancellor Palpatine. It's just insane that the only Palpatine that we've ever got in the Black Series has been the Emperor. And being able to complete a scene, you know, just like having both of these figures next to each other on the shelf is always a lot of fun. Next on the list is Shakti. She comes up a lot. This would be a pretty tricky figure in terms of paint apps, but no trickier than Ahsoka. We've actually seen a really amazing custom by Tim's Toys. I'm lucky enough to have this figure in my collection. If you want to see my full collection tour, you can find that on my YouTube page. And the next figure is actually technically an army builder, the Jedi Temple Guard. I think it wouldn't be too far off for most people to get 4 or 5 of these. It is just such an absolutely cool design with those giant lightsaber hilts, that double-bladed yellow saber, and then the 2 different looks. We have the Rebels look and then the Clone Wars look. I think I prefer the Clone Wars hooded look. But yeah, I wasn't expecting to see these so high on the list, but they are super cool looking. And again, you're gonna have to get at least 2 of them. And it actually surprised me to see this next character on the list, and I guess that is why this upvote system works so well, is because we can really see what people want. And that's Blind Kanan Jarrus from Rebels Season 4, and since we now have this Darth Maul Old Master figure, as well as the Ahsoka Ezra, which is pretty much his Season 4 appearance, I guess it makes sense to have Kanan without that shoulder pauldron in his Season 4 outfit with the face mask. Next is a character that I also didn't expect to see on the top 10, but it makes a lot of sense, Kelleran Beck and his appearance in The Mandalorian. I mean, how often do you get a character with 2 different colored sabers? And although he didn't have a huge role in the show, he has a huge role in the story. And I think more importantly that the casting decision behind this character resonated with fans so heavily. And the story behind this character and the actor is always going to emotionally resonate with fans when they see this figure on the shelf. Next we have Moff Gideon in his final appearance from The Mandalorian Season 3. A lot of times in Star Wars, when there is a new character or a new appearance, Hasbro won't really know about that until the show actually airs, unless Lucasfilm has provided them concept art ahead of time. And Hot Toys was able to get their figure revealed a few weeks ago, I think, and so if they were able to get it out, hopefully Hasbro won't be too far behind, because I think that Hot Toys is a good sign that this concept art was sent out to licensors ahead of time. Ever since Quinlan Voss was mentioned on the Kenobi show, I've been hearing him come up a lot on people's wish lists. This is a custom by Tim's Toys, but it would be cool to have Quinlan on the shelf beating Cad Bane through the air. Clone Wars was a really crazy series, wasn't it? And the 10th most wanted figure in the Black Series is Marin from Fallen Order. I would also be okay with her Jedi Survivor appearance. She's such an amazing character, and just it seems like she's made to be an action figure. I'm hoping that maybe her appearance in Survivor was a bit of a surprise, and that's why we haven't seen a figure of her yet, but it's gotta be coming eventually. So that's all I'm gonna cover in this video. I definitely recommend checking out the subreddit, which we linked below. You can go through and upvote your favorites before I go ahead and send this over to the people at Hasbro that follow me, so you still have time to submit your favorites. In the meantime, here are some other videos that you might enjoy. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.